Luke's had a very good season with the expectations he's had coming in. Coming off last year's finish at Nationals, he's going to be being a first-team All-American. There's expectations a lot of kids have trouble living up to sometimes. And my hat's off to him this year from the point that he didn't play great for himself like he did at the end of last year, but he played steady and solid. He's had a very consistent, solid year. And at the end of the year, when it really counted, when it really had to ante up in the springtime, he's really played well the last few weeks. And that's hard for a senior to do when he's on the way of going out, his mind's shifting from here to there, and he's got the responsibility of being the best player on the team. He's done a great job from the standpoint of being a senior #1 player.
So I guess you have to fight, not fight, but you had to battle, keeping guys grounded a little bit, of keeping them here rather than getting 3 months ahead of themselves.
Especially seniors. Yeah, because it's human nature. Start looking at the next chapter in your life, especially when you're the level that Luke or Scott or Chris was. They're looking at the next. They're getting, talked about. People are talking about, what are they doing next? What are you doing after school? You're turning pro, and the key to playing good golf was to stay in the present. Well, they're always being pushed to get out in the future, and Luke's done a good job of staying in the present this year. I think he's learned. He's seen some guys go ahead of him, and his plays reflected that.
Has he heard the same questions? I mean, has he faced the same stuff?
Oh, I'm sure he has. Yeah, he has, and it'd be a good question for him. But yeah, he has. But he's a grounded kid, and he's learned though from the other guys. I mean, he's seen. Scott last year had a great junior year, and a good solid senior year too. But if you ask Scott, I would think he would say that he didn't have the end of the season he would have liked. There's nothing, it's just the way it happened. He's fine now, but I think Luke saw some of the frustration Scott was going through, and has learned from that. And that's why it's beneficial to have good players play ahead of you in a program.
What's his strength? What describe his game to me?
Well, he's long enough. He's not overly long, but he's a I guess grinder may be too generic of a word for Luke, because he is an ultimate competitor. I mean, he'll fight you, and when he takes his mind off his golf swing and off how he's doing something, he's usually pretty good. When he starts thinking about his golf swing and worrying about being too perfect, that gets in his way. He's very talented. He's always been a great player since he was young, and he keeps getting better and better. So when he goes to compete and just pulls the gloves off and ready to go, he's pretty special. And when he's trying to shoot a score, he's pretty special. And that's what I think he has a knack for, is that when he has to shoot a score, he'll do it. And he has that extra gear. He doesn't overpower golf courses, but he's got a great short game, good touch and feel. But he has a good feel for the game, which as a college coach is the biggest thing to teach kids. He can feel things happening before they happen. He can understand himself a little bit, and the feel for the game is a big thing he has.
I mean, when you hear back-to-back Big Ten champs or back-to-back Big Ten champion, and hadn't happened since McDonald, hadn't happened here since Stricker. Those are he's getting compared to some pretty big time names.
Sure, well he has, but again, the secret is that he stayed in the present. It's hard to repeat because people don't really know how to handle the expectation level of going and doing it again, and letting it happen and getting out of your own way. But a lot of it is just good enough to do it. When you're really good enough, it's not hard. It's easier to win. When you're really good, you make some mistakes but still overcome them. Some people have to play their best to win. Luke's gotten his game, we always talk about, he's gotten his game to a level in college where he doesn't have to play his best to compete. And that's why he's had a steady year. I mean, he's played solid, nothing great, but he's been in contention every week.
Your seed, were you happy with your seed? Disappointed? What was?
As all competitors, you're looking for every edge you can get, and you're looking to, you want to get in there and mix it up. We're happy to be in the tournament. We knew we were going to be in the tournament. You had no idea where you're going to go, and the way they select these teams is a formula that really nobody quite understands. Nobody quite understands the computer ranking either, how they arrive at that. So it is an inexact deal. A 7 seed I thought was a little too low for us, but it's not here nor there. What are you going to do about it? I mean, we've there's teams we've handled pretty well all year that are in 5th or 5 seeds. No, I'm not upset about it, and we're ready to go compete. But I expected to see us in the 5 or 6 slot. But once you're in the event, seeds are gone. It's all a matter of going and playing. So I'm embracing Oklahoma. These guys are too. It's a place we've never been before. It's a chance to go play at a well-known university golf course against a good field. So we're going to approach like every other event and go try to win the dang thing.
How important is it to keep that streak going of getting the NCAA finals?
Well, I think it's important. It's like it was trying to win the Big Ten championship again. But the longer you go, the harder it is. And to show you how hard it is to make the NCAA finals, people don't realize that. Only, you know, the stats been out. 7 teams have made 4 in a row only. Well, there's a lot of great college programs that are consistent programs year to year that haven't made the last 4. So it's just something that'd be another feather in our hat, another something to show that we're becoming a program, just not a team, if we can make it again. But you know, you got to play hard from the start to finish. You got to get the bounces, and golf's such an inexact sport that it's hard to count on anything. You just got to take it as it comes.